Hey, what up? This is MITUS with another episode of Creased, and we're back with another collection video. The guy by my right is probably my right hand man. He's been one of my best friends for around 10 years or so, and beyond that he's been one of my main collaborators in music. He's made a lot of music for stuff we've done on here too, and today we're going to get into his sneaker collection. Rorks, what up?
Yeah, cheers brother.
Now, what I respect about you is probably similar to how I came about. Is I was a skateboarder, right? So I grew up in Bankstown, so there was a lot of Nikes, a lot of that sort of thing. But there was definitely a moment where, like, it was Etnies, Osiris, Globes, that sort of thing. You were the same, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, I grew up on the Central Coast, a lot of bodyboarding, so that sort of generation where it was, you know, the Etnies with the squared off laces and Globes. ES was another big one, so you know. Human, yeah, they were the school shoe kids, the leather kids. But you know, like when we were rocking back then, the skaters were kind of like the lads. That was pre-lad though, so the skaters were like the graphers, and the homies were just straight homies in the Paddy Market shit, you know.
All right, so what was that? You're into skateboarding, bodyboarding, that sort of thing, that coasty lifestyle. What was that point where you go, I like that in terms of kicks? What was that shoe that made you take notice? Or what was that? Was it like an Air Max, or what was it? That's
a good question. You know, my mum moved to the UK to do comedy, and she bought me a pair of Air Force Ones from Soho, the markets in Soho.
Uptowns?
Yeah, they were fresh, mega limited edition and shits, and they brought them back, and you know, I love those shoes, you know, and probably started rocking gigs from there, and I realised that everyone was wearing 90s from there. I was like, oh, I'm out of touch. So, you know, the 90s came into the fray, and you know, that's that part of the journey.
In terms of, like, you know, you're saying other people wearing this, but like for me, like, kicks have always been a statement. So if you're coming to the party wearing something different, people are going to pay more attention. But what era was that where you got those limited edition Air Force Ones? What year did you?
Look, that was
like
probably
07, 08?
Nah, 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
Back then when my mum went.
See, that was
UK,
probably when I was in my big Air Force One moment too. Like, I was rocking like Jordan hybrid Air Force Ones, and like people, I'd go to gigs and they were all like, yo, what are those? I remember, what was it, Smiles Again from Mind Over Matter?
Yes,
he stopped me and he was like, yo, what are you wearing? And I was just like, yeah, if you know, you know.
Yeah, well look, to be fair, I didn't really give a shit. I just got into hip hop. I was more like of a Central Coast surfy type kid. I got in a bit of, you know, it was Brad Strutt authentic at the time. The Herd, $3.40 bag of fresh hip hop. So I just started getting into hip hop from that skatey surfy world, and I was just trying to integrate it, and you know, the Air Force Ones were the
the amalgamation. That was
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, you know, it was all new to me then. I wasn't trying to make a statement piece, but it seemed that all the real heads were wearing 90s, so that's where I just sort of tried to transition into that.
You said you went from Air Force Ones and then say Air Max, yeah?
Went to Air Max. Yeah, so from there I got a bit of a taste for the Air Max 90s or lights, or you know what I mean, the ones or whatever.
Air Max ones. You're actually one of the first people that I saw embracing the Air Max Zero, which is funny because the Air Max Zero was actually one of the first sketches that Tinker did before the Air Max One was the Air Max Zero.
Absolutely.
And then brought it back like one Air Max day, and for me, I was looking at it like, there's no tongue, there's this and that, I've got a fat foot, I didn't even try it, but you had it first. I mean, you got the OG joints up there, we'll have a look at them in a minute, but, you know, tell me about that, Air Max Zero, you had a couple pairs.
Yeah, I heard they were coming out, you know, and they had this, the blue and white colourways, this navy blue and white, and then, you know, I think I missed that run, and I got some limited edition ones from the UK that are pretty rare. I haven't seen too many people.
You got the OG colorway too, like the first one they ever dropped. You got those.
Well, these are kind of like rare ones that are from the UK. I didn't see them here in Australia, but I haven't really worn them too much purely for that same reason. They got the elastic. You know what I mean? Like lads with big legs like us, that shit ain't sexy. You know what I mean? So.
The other thing too, like you were one of the first people I knew that was like a lot of people going to States trying to get discounts or getting shoes that weren't happening. You were actually going to UK before most people that I know.
Yeah, look, I mean obviously my dad's side of the family's from the UK, so it was just easy for me to access stuff from there, from Macclesfield and Manchester, and yeah, I don't know, I'd never really had a massive tendency to go to the US. I've always been more of a UK sort of hip hop guy, you know, fashion style, so yeah, I don't know, there was no real reason behind it, but
yeah. So you're kind of like me in the fact that you know, other people might be up on some hype and that sort of thing, but for us it's more about if I like it, I like it.
Yeah.
You've got stuff in your collection that people would die for, but you've also got stuff in your collection that people would go, why have you got that? But for you, like, tell us about that transition from, say, like you said, from Air Force One to MX 90s to now whatever you feel comfortable in.
Yeah, I think look, everything sort of changed when I started having kids, you know, so I think it wasn't about the money per se, because like that spare money was still there, but it just really wasn't. It was just more about convenience and comfort. So, you know, I love my 90s and stuff, but yeah, I just sort of transitioned and I just started going back into that skatey, smaller shoe sort of style, you know, and probably a bit of Puma at the moment, to be fair. So I think everybody knows Rorks. I'm a Man City fan, so I think that helped me, you know, go back towards Puma as when they transitioned from Nike to Puma.
Yeah. Because you did like your Air Max, you was solid on that phase. Then you went to Adidas for a bit.
Yes.
Now you're heavy on your Puma. And so look, Man City was the main contributor.
Yeah,
to that?
I think for Puma it took me back. I know Puma got taken over. Like new manager when they got Bolt on board, Neymar.
Neymar's killing it.
Helly Hansen, but like it wasn't about that. It was just like more of the city connection for me, the Man City kit. And then I started going, okay, they're doing all right now, you know. So yeah, I don't want a bit of Puma these days. I know they're a bit daggy back in the day, but yeah, I don't know. I went through a like massive Nike. I'm still a massive Nike fan, but I went into Adidas world. I got my ZXs. You know, people might love or hate them, but you know.
It is what it is. Like I always say to people, like you can have all the hype in the world, but for you gotta love them at the end of the day. And like you're like me. Like it doesn't matter about the hype, doesn't matter about anything. You purchase shoes because you like them.
Absolutely. I don't know what it was. I went from a stage where I just started feeling like 90s and that were like, you know, I love them, but they started feeling a bit too big. You know what I mean? I just want to go more to a streamlined shoe, a bit bulky.
Do you reckon that was around the time the MX Zero dropped? Because I know that the MX One had a resurgence, and then the MX Zero came along, and it did seem like certain shoes like that were a bit bulky. Because I went through that too. I stopped wearing them, and it's only like probably the last couple of years I started wearing 90s again. When you were younger, what was that first pair of shoes? Like say you saved up your paycheck, one of your first jobs. What was that first pair of shoes you bought yourself? I
got to be honest. I had rollers at high school. You remember the rollers?
I had them in primary school.
Shit, those things were hot. With the rollers and then
the rugged shorts.
Yeah.
That was the kit. That was the kit.
The big S&P bill hanging. Yeah, I even had some Converse back then, just some black Converse. I'd never really got into Chucks or anything like that, but
I had a pair of double tongue Chucks, and I'll be honest, like I wore them once to a Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, and Bone Thugs gig. Never wore them again. Never wore them again.
Actually, you know what it was? It was a Rodney Mullen Globes.
Yeah.
That was the first shoe I saved up, paid my own money.
Yeah.
You had to take the laces out and re-thread them all straight and shit, not tight the laces, but
so yeah, them shit's right, yeah.
You know, yeah, shoes always got a time in your life where it represents that moment, and that's what I do like about shoes, a lot like music, you know?
Yeah. You can actually, that's a good point you made, you can like document your life in terms of how shoes went. Like when you were a kid, you know, it was whatever you can get your hands on, and obviously you had moments where you thought whatever was cool, and whether it be practicality for skateboarding, and then obviously like through the moments of time it goes 90s, it goes this, and then like you said, when you're a dad, you just like, I just want something comfortable, you know, match with the kid.
Look, I don't know what it was. I just probably as I got older, if that's a style thing or a fashion thing where things just got a bit more slimline. You know, everyone had the baggy, the Wu-Tang jeans, the Rough Rider jeans back then. That was the style. But you know, as we've moved through, it's a little bit more streamlined for me. So yeah, shoes have always got a place in my heart, and you know, I probably don't wear as many of them as I'd like to, but they've all got a place and a story to tell. So.
Talk about like when we were both younger, when I'd come visit you, we'd go to like say Paul's warehouse. Mm-hmm. Is there any like stories there where like you got something crazy in terms of price? Is there anything where you've gone, man, I just got this for a crazy price?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when Paul's at Parramatta there, when we were there, like they had real proper 90s, you know, like good quality stuff before it was that tacky Damani data.
I remember they got done like selling fake Nikes and they couldn't sell any because they were trying to go around Nike Australia, and they got done. They couldn't sell any for like 2 years or something because of it.
Absolutely, they got so tacky there at the end. But I remember these. I don't know why I'd never really worn them, but like I think I've worn these not even once, man. Like got those 90s fresh sole, never been worn. They're from Paul's, but they're original, the actual genuine Air Max 90s before they got shitbox. Yeah.
They're 2013, so that's
13 kids, are they?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's 8 years old.
That's just sort of a paper popper. So
it's obvious.
They're like the sky blue army fatigue kids, I'd probably call them.
Yeah, I don't know the name for these. You know, you can obviously tell that was an icy sole. It's starting to go yellow now, oxidization, but you know, you definitely need to wear these at some point before the bubble hasn't gone cloudy. That's a good sign, so you could still get some wear out of them. But yeah, they're crazy. I think I had something similar in a black camo, and they were calling them premium tape. But my problem with them, they would, as you're walking, they'd like make a weird noise.
Actually, they kind of got that vinyl look to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
But this is probably a better colorway than what I had. But yeah, like what I had, it was just like made this weird noise that was like you're plodding along when you're walking with them.
You know, I mean, I don't know, take you for the journey. I'm pretty sure these are Paul's ones. You know, actually, probably these go. These probably go hard with my. My city sort of look, you know what I mean? We're city back in the day. You got the ones there too? Yeah, they were the city kits for me, like Manchester City. They're just nice, you know, fresh, simple. You know, so look, they're still nice. They're just a bit more streamlined. Just throw them on, go to Woolies.
Yeah, with the gum sole, you can't go wrong with it. With a pair of Air Max ones with the gum sole. I've got a couple with the gum sole. But this more pertains to what I was saying earlier, is like in terms of you're like me, if you like it, you like it. Like not many people buy navy blue shoes, but you probably got the biggest collection of navy blue shoes I've ever seen.
Well, look, navy blue is crazy, dude. So yeah, I just think they go nice with just a nice pair of jeans and a white shirt or whatever. So it's pretty neutral for me, not too leery. Actually, they're from Paul's though.
That's another one.
Actually, I've got another pair from Paul's. What are these? What are these?
These are all either called.
What the fuck are these called? I don't even know what they're called.
They go by two different names, right? There's either an Air Max Ivo or an Air Max Command. Yep. Now these are generally in a retail platform and no one ever touches them. I've had a couple of pairs myself. I think they're great, but they just sit there. And this colour is probably the best colourway I've ever seen, with the sky blue and swoosh.
Yeah, a bit of a sky blue minty sort of. Actually, that's kind of a Man City shoe too. If you actually look at it.
Let's be really real. That's a New South Wales state of origin shoe.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
But yeah, like
I don't mind them. I don't know what it is. They just feel that they're pretty heavy shoes. They feel quite heavy.
But even with what I said, like on the same, is like I'll grab things just because I like it. I've had these before. No one's checking for them, but they're dope. This is probably more your steez nowadays, yeah? Or was for a minute.
Well, to be honest, the ZX phase passed real quick. I bought these down in Melbourne on Burke Street when I was down there for a real estate conference. He's actually Manchester United.
Oh, he's going back to Reds. He's going back to Reds.
United, but
he was a Reds fan.
Nah, look, I was a Reds fan when Paul Ince was playing and gigs and all that, and Solskjaer and Cantona, but Schmeichel, you know, they were the gods back then. But yeah, I don't know, they just sort of stood out to me. It wasn't more about the United thing, I just caught limited dish, but I'm not even really wearing them anymore. I don't know why, but.
So what are you wearing basically as like an everyday beat? Are you switching between type things, or is there a go-to pair that you just, that's what I go to if I just want to go to the shops, I want to do that sort of thing?
Yeah, well look, at the moment, you know, it's probably more just a Fume. I don't even know what they're called, but I don't mind them.
Yeah, I don't know what they're called, but I know they did a limited edition BMW colourway that I almost bought, because I do have the Beamer. I wanted to mix and match with my ride.
Yeah, so I don't know, they're small cash shoes. I didn't mind them. I think they were like $90 or something. Black colourways too, because that was on sale.
Fume's always had like that b-boy shoe type aesthetic, hasn't it? Like I remember that obviously the Fume Clyde was probably the original. Then you had all them joints in the early 2000s, and now
these kits. I mean, these are Rage Against the Machine.
What are they called? Puma Basket. I don't even know what Puma Basket. That looks like a Puma Clyde to me.
You got the suede shit, but
this looks like a Puma Clyde to me, but it's like something different. But yeah, this is more the aesthetic people know about it, and this just seems like an amalgamation between like 80s, 90s, 2000s into one shoe, and for me it's appealing. So
I'm feeling it.
If Man City ends up signing with say like Nike and Jordan, how PSG did, you'd be all over Jordan, would you?
Well, I was all over Nike when City were with him anyway, but I think now they're going to Puma, I don't mind the
just
style.
gives you an excuse to do something different.
Well look, if you want to go for all my Man City gear, we can do that too, yeah?
Is there any, within your time that you've been based around, obviously, like you said, it tells the timeline. Is there anything that you look back on that you go, man, I wish they'd bring that back in terms of a shoe? Whether it be a colorway or like, maybe it's the Air Max Zeros. I mean, I've seen them recently at the outlets and I didn't even realise they brought them back.
That's a really good question. I think if they had more styles of the Air Max ones, to be fair. It's very hard to find good colourways.
They've definitely dropped off.
I know they had that London and that Paris kit that came out, but
they're impossible to cop.
I'm not one of those people that wakes up at 4 in the morning and sits on there and buys shit like him. But yeah, I don't know. I like the ones because you can just sort of kick around in them. They're a bit more casual, not too heavy.
They're a sporting aesthetic, but they're also, you could just like, they're a smart casual type sneaker.
These are kind of weird. Can I show them? These are kind of weird ones. I think I bought these to play tennis with my missus, but actually didn't mind them. I don't know. What are they called?
Dual Racer.
Dual Racer. They're a bit like, you know, Robotech fucking spaceship, but they're actually really comfy though.
It's got the infrared colourway.
Yeah, you know. So they're just something a bit more joggy.
So that was your flux phase.
Yeah, I'm going through that flux phase. Actually, I like my fluxes there, you know. I don't know what it is. I'd probably still wear them now, but I just sort of phased them out.
So this was the OG, which was the Ultramarine, I think they called it. I can't remember.
Yeah, they were from the UK. I don't think they sold them here in Australia, but
they did, but it was limited edition. It was a lot easier to cop internationally.
I've probably worn these twice, to be fair. But like, I love those, bro. They're just fresh, summery type shoes, you know. I recently got
a pair of the red and black joints on eBay, $30. Insane old stuff.
So I know they had the normal blue and white kit, and then they had a red and white kit, but these were kind of a bit different. Like,
well, see, the navy ones I could have got for $80, and I slept on them, and a week later they were gone. What about the New Balance?
Oh yeah, I didn't. These popped out.
Looks like there's a few bourbon stains on the toe.
To be honest, I've only worn them once and I spilt like a fucking half a bottle of bourbon on it. I could probably salvage it in the washing machine, but I don't think I've ever worn them since because it's got that elastic kit again, which ain't really my style. You know, they're just popping around, you know, a little bit
gum sole.
Yeah,
you can't go wrong with shoes with a gum sole because if you get an all white joint with a gum sole, you know what it means? You're not going to get the sole dirty.
Absolutely, so they're a bit more, you know, like Roger Federer popping around on the court. We've got the blue kits over there too. These have been pretty thrashed. I think I've skated them for whatever reason, but you know, they're just sort of your everyday kit. You know, that's sort of the flux, just everyday flux kits. I'm pretty sure these are from Paul's too, but I just found these. I forgot about these.
You know what's crazy? They brought these back recently, and only the OG heads like caught any sort of like hype around them. But what, you got them from Paul's warehouse for? How much you reckon?
I'm pretty sure I did. I don't know, man. But look, these are the lights. You know, I still prefer my ones, but these are kind of like a hybrid between the 90s and the ones.
That's what they were probably made for. Tell me about these joints.
Fuck, I don't even pull. What's in here? I don't even know what's in here. I'm gonna pull it. Oh, whoa. These are authentic. These are genuine pumps, I'm pretty sure. Well, they've been around for like 10 years. So.
I don't know how to legit check a pair of pumps.
It's some more navy blues that I like, you know. Put the pump.
What's it say? Like that Hexalite. Yeah. You worn these joints? Maybe
I used to wear them joints. Where's the
There's another pair.
The cartoon joint. These, if I've got to be honest. These maxis, I mean, these are hot. Like, but these are like heavy. I'm going out to spit bars and these, I mean, in the dark at night.
The reverse infrareds before they did it recently.
I'm coming with bars with that, you know.
What about these joints? This is another dusty one.
Actually, I think I'm going to show them. No, I can't put them on. So we got the, we got the unfurled. Oh, these are the ones I've never worn. Actually, they're yellow now, aren't they?
Yeah, oxidisation. You're going to wear your shoes, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, I don't think these have ever been worn. Yeah? So, if you have a look, they look like some yellow rolly fingers up on there.
The soles are still icy, but obviously the plastic is yellowed.
Yeah, that shit's ice, yeah. These are probably worth a few quid, yeah. You reckon I would bootleg these for a bit? Still got the tag hanging.
Look, I'll be honest, no one's really checking for Reebok pumps. If you know, you know.
What about these kits? These are alright, but these got thrashed quick early. Yeah, but they're just nice, clean.
Air Max 90, gum sole again, a white shoe with a gum sole. Oh no, it's not a gum sole, it's gum toe.
But they've got
it's only got the gum toe.
I don't know what it is, they sort of got that check, like diamond houndstooth sort of cut on it.
Yeah, what were they? They were like the Hyperfuse or something? Were they the Hyperfuse? I can't remember.
I think so.
They were like a lighter version, like you feel it, like it weighs nothing.
Actually, you know what? They just feel a little bit more.
They are lighter.
You know, new age sort of 90.
Yeah.
The new age 90?
Not a 2090, but yeah.
I can't remember the last time I wore them. Oh, these are the
Air Max 1s. That's a nice colorway.
Yeah, we got some more ones up in here. You know, they were pretty fresh. Actually, I might start wearing them more.
These are the Air Max 90s Lunarlon. You can see the sole is more the Lunarlon sole, so you get the cushioning in the forefoot as well as the heel. These are pretty out there. Where'd you buy these?
Shit, I don't know what possessed me at the time.
Just want to stand
a bit of a flamboyant stage. I don't really wear them. But yeah, I mean, these are always pretty clean, you know. Neutral, can't go wrong, yeah.
Alright, so we've been through with Rorks, shown a bit of his collection, heard some stories, this, that and the other. Rorks, let the people know what you got going on, man.
So, you know, I appreciate your time, MITUS. Thanks for coming to see my shoe collection. You know, as I said, I'm probably not as into it as I used to be, but, you know, I still love my shoes. It represents, it's symbolic for a stage in my music and my life. So, you know, get out there, catch the music, collective crew, boom Bap Fam. Blowy shirt, anything we're copping with MITUS. You know, we got Bamboo Curtain about to drop soon, and if you want the album, Polar Patterns, it's still out there, Spotify, iTunes.
The digital places, you can cop a limited edition CD, everything like that. I think there's still a couple left.
Yeah. Still got a few here, so, you know, hit us up online.
You got one or two left, still got the plastic on them. So if you're still in the CDs,
big up,
get them.
April 77 on the artwork, Joe Carr on the mastering from Crystal Mastering. So you know, it's all sort of pretty high end, high fidelity shit. You know, we don't play with that. So you know, peace. Thanks for having me, bro, and I appreciate your time.
There's been another episode of Creased. We'll catch you next time. Peace.